Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is upon us. 4 years of great enjoyment with MSFS 2020. I think we can all probably agree with that. But this now goes leaps and bounds compared to what we've been enjoying. Multi-threading, increased graphics, performance, the lot. They've worked in partnership with a load of developers over the last few years that we've made use of thanks to a lot of their great add-ons in the previous sim, MSFS 2020. Bringing with it all of the advancements, all of the improvements that we can now look forward to going forwards into the future. Now, a lot of people will still be on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, understandably so. It's a great sim, lots of add-ons, not all of which will be compatible with this new sim, at least in the first instance. But let me know what you guys think of the new simulator down in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe. This is my first look, first thoughts of the new sim as we enjoy its release. Now, the new simulator builds on a sim that we've been enjoying, where the graphics and the visuals, the colours, the atmospherics have been phenomenal. From fog to snow to sunsets, through to the photogrammetry that we've enjoyed across the world, the freedom of which we've had to explore as well. It's been absolutely superb. But this again raises the standards even more. The ability to set your own identity, personal to your own sim experience, is also available. So during your initial setup, it's worth spending a little bit of time working through the avatars, setting up precisely how you want them to be. Great thing is you can style it precisely as you wish, maybe as close as possible to your own sort of appearance. They don't unfortunately have a receding hairline for a middle-aged bloke, so we'll go with what we can get.
Cabin crew.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Within the menu, literally again, as we know, the world is your oyster. So you can choose whether you want to chase those activities and work through all of the different sort of content that they've built into the sim, from flight training through to low altitude, blasts in the F-18 and landing challenges that we're familiar with already from the previous simulator. And with that you can also see the challenge lead, or you can begin your career mode as well, a new feature in the sim which has you start off as a new pilot, working through the ranks if you like, through various different aircraft until you eventually fly the big jets. And it looks absolutely superb. Now, on day one on release, they'd had a couple of issues with the server loads. It was to be expected as well. This is one of the biggest releases in the history of our community, not least even for the Xbox platform and even PC gaming, to be fair. And no doubt it's going to massively surpass the performance of MSFS 2020 when that released as well. So being more server based, it creaked somewhat. But they worked hard at kind of trying to fix it for a lot of us. But you can begin your career anywhere you wish, zooming into whichever airport you want to begin at. And you'll notice here, only the smaller airports initially are able to be used, and that's because you're not a big enough pilot, you're not experienced enough in the career mode to access those bigger aircraft in those bigger airports. So it's worth considering that. Now, World Photographer is a new one as well. You can explore the world and take snapshots as you go. have a look at all these specifically new built-in features to the sim, which are absolutely exquisite as well. And you can work through all of these, effectively doing a bit of world spotting and plane spotting. And you've got free flight, which most of us will be familiar with, and of course no doubt will be using. In reality though, unfortunately, we've been left with a server postcode lottery, and albeit expected in release, a bit of chaos, server problems, all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, if we're running a cloud-based simulator, it becomes frankly unusable if we start to experience problems. And in total now over 8 hours across 2 days, this is pretty much as far as I've got, trying to load in for a flight somewhere in an aircraft and it just permanently spinning the wheel. I did manage to get into the A400M once, and unfortunately, we might see it in the video if it eventually lets me load in again somewhere. I just ended up with a blank flight deck with kind of hollow windows and the pilot floating in midair with one engine spinning and no sounds. And when I look back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, I don't remember there being this many problems. Not least because when we installed the sim, the based sim was held on our computer. We weren't trying to stream the data. But as we mentioned a minute ago, that postcode lottery seems quite evident because some of you guys in Australia that watch the content on this channel and enjoy being part of this community have been able to successfully get into the sim and enjoy some flights. Those of us in Europe and the UK, at the times that we're all going to likely try to log on at the same time, it's been near on impossible, give or take 1 or 2 examples here and there. So I've found this relaunch quite frustrating, to be totally honest. Yes, there was that preview event with a load of people going to it in Phoenix. That was all hyped up as well. And has it lived up to expectations currently? No. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, I would be an advocate of keeping Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 installed and still using that for as long as possible whilst they iron this stuff out. I reckon it's going to take at least a couple of weeks before they can average the server loads and work out generally how many users are going to be trying to log in at certain times to give us a better experience. But let us know how you've got on down in the comments section below. Have you got further than this? Have you managed to load in with the A400M or any other aircraft? I think from what I understand, a lot of folk have been a bit more successful with the A330 and the 737 MAX 8, but not so much with many others. When I try to load in items like the rally race, again I just get stuck with this spinning wheel for 10-15 minutes before I give up. Some of them, however, look a little bit more promising. Even when I manage to get into some, as we can see here, the challenge button is actually greyed out, so I can't load it, and then I get the bandwidth too low warning, which is a common theme over the last couple of hours for me, over the 2 days that we've been enjoying, that we're trying to enjoy the Sims so far. And this is also the reason why I didn't dive into one of those ridiculous live streams, release day party, blah, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's great for viewer numbers, and thousands of people were watching some content creators download and run the sim, but ultimately it is far better that we wait a while for this to stabilize before offering content with it of quality rather than quantity. So that's why you're not going to necessarily see that much from me initially until we get big name developers joining their add-ons into the new sim and all that kind of thing, because a lot of us aren't able to get beyond this. No matter what I click on, just sits there loading. And if this is the future of sort of cloud gaming, then I don't want it. This needs to be a lot better. If you've been part of the 97% squad, then let us know down below. Also, share your own expectations with the sim. How long do you think it might be until this becomes a bit more stable? Have you downloaded the sim and deleted MSFS 2020 already, or like me, if you kept it just in case as a backup. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts, as I'm sure others are, reading the comments section below. Now, if you have actually managed to get further than that, i.e. load into the sim like so, you might then find that actually you can't do much else. I am effectively completely stuck. So I've managed to load into career mode using the East USA server. It's the only one I seem to be able to get on at the moment, to create this, the stage in the sim where I can actually spawn in somewhere. However, it's immediately froze. So if you're part of the 97%ers, if you've had issues like this, or in fact if you've managed to get in and you've been enjoying the simulator, let us know how you're getting on, what you've been doing, if you have been flying around in the sim as well. Hopefully when this stabilizes a bit more, I'll be able to bring you guys some really nice content. I've got some good ideas ready to go as well, and naturally when we get those epic devs, fly-by-wire simulations, PMDG, iFly, Phoenix simulations, those scenery developers like Pari Devco, Mako Simulations working on their version 2 for Manchester, Just Flight's RJ Professional, all of that amazing stuff that we've been enjoying in MSFS 2020 moving into the newest sim at some point in the future, then it will be worth switching and making that full transition potentially. But absolutely keep MSFS 2020 installed for now as a safety net, because we know that works. We know its pitfalls, but we also have all of those amazing add-ons, and it's fairly stable now, 4 years on. And this sim is once again in its infancy. But that is all I've got for now. The sim is frozen again. Unfortunately, I'm having some spectacularly bad luck alongside a lot of you as well. So if you are watching and you're experiencing this, you're not alone. Hopefully I've shown that. But stick with it. If your sim is working, spend some time setting up your keybinds, and keep an eye on the channel for some content in the near future. But in the meantime, as always, thank you very much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care.